Welcome back. So as promised before, meat cooking and steak cooking, I feel like there's a couple ways you can do it. Now, growing up in Michigan, in the summertime, grilling outside was the thing that we did. But now, obviously, wintertime in Michigan is not as pleasant. So a lot of times my dad would cook on the stovetop. The crust that cast iron and stovetop cooking meats develops is really, really something special. So I've actually learned to prefer cooking in a pan as opposed to on the grill. Some people will probably really highly disagree with me. My restaurant's in Austin, so obviously, well, you know what? I also like the grill. We cook a lot of stuff on the grill. So couple tips before you want to get started cooking any kind of meat, whether you go grill or pan, is rest and bring the meat to room temperature. And to the touch, you don't want it to feel like it has a chill. So with the meat, one of the first things I want to do is heat up the oil. I'm going to use a little bit of grapeseed oil. And so I like grapeseed oil because it's neutral in flavor and it has a higher smoking point. So we're going to add a good amount of oil, swirl it around the pan. Now you want a good coat, but you don't want to deep fry. So a little bit, you want to see a little bit of ripple and shine. We're going to take a little bit of kosher salt. And a lot of times people are like, oh, why does the food taste so much better in restaurants? We use salt and we use butter. So season aggressively. Okay, so we're gonna do a little kosher salt, a good few turns of black pepper. So we're gonna press that in just a touch, make sure it's fully coated and seasoned. Now, when I go to put the meat in, you just don't wanna drop it in. So I'm gonna bring the oil a little bit closer to me, and then I'm also gonna lay the meat away from me at a close distance. So I'm gonna go there. That sizzle is really what we wanna hear, and now at this point, I'm gonna crank up the heat. I'm really on high, and I'm just gonna let it hang out. Don't touch it. You start to touch it, moisture comes out, then you end up steaming the meat, which is not what we're going for. So in the meantime, a little bit of a salad dressing. So I love having a green salad, especially when you have like a fatty piece of meat and deep fried foods, something really light and refreshing to kind of cut through it. So easiest way to make a vinaigrette is literally just dump it all into a mason jar and we're gonna shake it. So a touch of honey, pomegranate molasses. So there's actually no molasses in pomegranate molasses, so it is quite tart. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of white wine vinegar. So typically a vinaigrette, the rule of thumb is about 1-to-1 vinegar to fat, or acid to fat. We're gonna add a touch more. And I love just a little bit of bright lemon, so we're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. You can leave this part out if you don't have it. And if you don't have pomegranate molasses, just do extra honey. Don't worry about the seeds later. And then again, because grapeseed oil is being used once and why I have another oil, I'm gonna use the grapeseed oil again. So we're just gonna add the grapeseed. It'll naturally separate. So it's like about 50-50. Good hefty pinch of salt. A little bit of black pepper. And this will last in your refrigerator for a couple weeks, so feel free to make enough so you can just kind of keep using it and you have it to come back to. So just a little good little shake. So when you make a vinaigrette, err on the side of more tangy, because once you add greens and all the different things, if you want to use other vegetables or croutons or anything like that, it's going to bring that acidity level on your palate further down. Okay, so it looks like on the meat, we can start to see the caramelization happen around the edges. So I'm going to just peek up the meat and look at it. I also like to use my hands when I cook meat, which maybe don't do. I'm a professional. And it's perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is drop down the heat just a touch. And then I'm gonna flip the ribeye. So on this side, we're not gonna cook it for as long as we did on that first side. Presentation side, you always typically wanna go a little bit more. So the goal is to cook this entire steak on the stove top and not have to put it in the oven. So long as you like it, you know, the rare, medium rare, you're in a good place. If you're going for medium or well done, I would recommend using the oven. Okay. So right now we're gonna drop the heat just a touch to about a medium. And then we're gonna add a whole shallot that's just cut into halves. And what this is doing is it's flavoring that oil. So as we keep basting that oil, now we actually have a flavored oil. And then 1 whole head of garlic, peel on is fine, split in half. And then we have thyme and sage. So when I go to add the herbs, I like to go soft herbs right on top of the meat, not directly in the pan just yet. So if you want this recipe, you can follow the link below. In there also there will be a lot of techniques. So I feel like when you cook, half the battle is understanding how things cook and why things cook. So it's learning the 101s and how to add before you can start to do division. So technique and recipe, both equally important. So there's a couple ways you can tempt the meat too. I would highly recommend using a digital thermometer when you're at home. Now in the restaurants, and what I prefer to use, and this comes with a lot of practice, is using a cake tester. So it's literally just a piece of metal. And all you do is just insert it into the center of the meat, leave it there for a second, and then I'm gonna put it right underneath my lip. And based off of 98 degrees, in which my body should be, I can tell roughly where it is. So, to each their own, whatever you want to do. And now we're going to add the butter. So a little bit of unsalted butter. Now this is where we can add our herbs into the pan where they're not going to burn. That nice sizzle and pop of thyme is a lovely sound. And now we're going to give it a good base. So once that butter starts to subside, you can't hear it as much. You kind of know the butter has run its course, and we're in a really good place to stop. So it's important to add the butter only when you're ready to take it off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out the meat, put it on a resting board. So the rule of thumb is however long it cooked, that's how long you want to let it rest. And we want to make sure we get all that good stuff and let it continue to baste itself. Great. Perfect. So we're going to let that rest, and then we're going to come back, show you how to carve it, build the salad, and we'll fry some onion rings in it. Now, when it comes time to carving a steak, there are a couple different ways you can do it. There's a million ways, but there are only a couple right ways, in my opinion. So with a ribeye, we have a cap, and then you have the eye. So they are two kind of different pieces of the meat. And then in the middle of all that is like this little ribbon of fat. That should be accessed as well. So all of our little garnishes of our garlic and our onions and all the herbs I like to use, they're all super tasty. So the meat has been resting. So remember, we have the eye and then we have the cap. So you just kind of take your knife, it'll naturally separate. So you have a nice cap here, so we'll just carve it down. Now for ribeyes, I particularly like to just cut straight up and down as opposed to on a bias. That's a preference. Okay. And then with the eye, always cut against the grain. And then this little piece of fat here, separate that off. So as you can see, we're at this beautiful medium rare. Then we're gonna take our meat, we're gonna put the eye, and then we'll take the cap. Perfect. All right. So now that the meat's on the platter, we're gonna take our leeks, and we'll just pile them up alongside. And then to finish this platter off, we're gonna add our mustard sauce, which has been kept warm. We'll just pile that in. Great. And then lastly, we do wanna hit the steak now that we've kind of opened it up with a little bit of Maldon salt just to finish. And as that meat sits there, that Maldon salt's really gonna start to melt into it. Really a simple kind of basic meal, just elevated quite a lot. This is something that I would go to if I am entertaining at home and if I have friends coming over that are last minute visitors, which we all know what that feels like. It's meat, it's onion rings, and it's a green salad. It's quite simple. So you have the salty, herby meats, crispy, crunchy, light leek fritters with the tangy mustard sauce, and then a sweet and sour, beautiful green salad to cut through all of that richness. So I'm gonna start with my favorite. Can you hear that? It's called crunch. You know, this is me. I do like to eat with my hands. Don't do this in front of your guests. Remember, don't talk with your mouth full. But also in the link below, you can find all the recipes and techniques. And now you gotta go. I'm eating.